Morena, Koto, happy Friday. Welcome to story time for today. The weather's not so flash outside, but hey, we can make sure you got a blanket, you can snuggle up as we do some stories. So today, our first story we're going to do is Zero the Hero, and then we'll continue on with James and the Giant Peach. But first, Zero the Hero. Unlike most numbers, Zero believed himself to be a hero. He just needed a chance to prove it. Hey, who's this in the mask? Hey, what's up with the pointy boots and the cape? Occasionally, he was mistaken for various circular objects, seemingly at random. Some days it really got to him. Hey, aren't you a Fruit Loop? I love those. No, I'm Zero the Hero. I don't think so. Are you a donut? No. Are you the letter O? No. How many times do I have to tell you? 6. Grrr. When it came to addition, he was virtually invisible. Other numbers seemed to almost pass right through him, almost like magic. 1 plus 0 equals 1. Still 1. 2 plus 0 equals 2. 3 plus 0 is 3. 0 plus 4 is 4, even when he was first. No matter what order we go in, the results are the same. The same thing happened with subtraction. In their frustration, some numbers were unkind. 1 take away 0 is 1. How come I'm called a difference if I don't look any different? Yoo-hoo, me again. 2 minus 0 equals 2. No, you are so zilch. 3 minus 0 equals 3. Am I boring you? Hello? 4 minus 0 is 4. Well, goody. What are you good for? Get it? Hey, diddly squat. Anyway, I figure it. Me take away nothing equals me, right? Am I right? Am I? I hope I have better luck on the next page. Poor old Zero. Turns out, Zero stunk even more at division. So badly, in fact, that the other numbers simply refused to be divided by him at all. Sorry, I can't be divided by nothing. What would be the point? Oh, come on. What if I let you be a divisor instead? Still, his belief in his wonderfulness persisted. Then one day during multiplication, it was discovered that any number times 0 equals, you guessed it, 0. 1 times 0 is 0. I apologize 100% for what I'm about to do to you. It's nothing personal. Here I am, another product of 0 times anything. Fearing extinction, the others ran away from him, and who could blame them? Run for your lives! Good thing I've got 9 of them. Don't go near the times tables if 0's around, or you'll be toast! Burnt toast! As the others scurried away, 0 had a horrible realization. A real superhero wouldn't multiply his friends into nothingness. That's what the kind of stuff only an evil villain would do. Could it be that he wasn't a hero at all? The thought gave 0 a hollow feeling inside. His confidence shaken, he tucked himself tight and rolled away, heading for infinity or oblivion, whichever one came first. The counting numbers didn't even notice 0 was gone. As you can see, I've got these 5 apples, and I've got these 2 bananas, and I've got 3 oranges. I think we know how much fruit we have altogether. Yes, but without 0, I won't be able to solve this problem. He needs to stand here to help me make 10. 5 plus 2 plus 3 plus 1 is, we have a problem. It says this place is reserved for 0. To take their minds off their problems, they tried playing a game of round off, but this proved impossible without 0. This is no fun. Yeah, without 0, we can't round down to 10 and we can't round up to 30. Oh, we feel so odd without 0 around. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. He's such a sweet nothing. Okay, so he wasn't totally worthless. The day I met him, I was 1 lucky 7. He made me feel like I was on cloud 9. No question, the counting numbers were missing their friends. 2, 4, 6, 8. I'm a 0 twice as much as anyone else. Who we Who did we not appreciate? I know I teased him, but feeling like there's a hole in my heart now that he's gone. We miss Zero even more. After all, he was one of us. In fact, they were so busy missing him that they didn't notice they were being surrounded. You know, I never told Zero I'm often mistaken for the letter S. Some confuse me with the letter Z, as in zero. If I stand too still, I can be mistaken for a pickle. That's what one's saying. If I take a nap, I'm mistaken for a lowercase m or a W, depending on which side I lie in. Snowman, says the 8. And look who's coming around them. Before the numbers knew it, they had been captured. In the name of the Emperor, we are taking you prisoner. Hey, aren't you the letter X? No, we are not letters. We are Roman numerals. We don't really like fighting. Instead, maybe we can teach you how to do math using ones, tens, and hundred places. Roman numerals don't do math. We just count. Hey, aren't you the letter V? Uh-oh, there is a problem. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 were tossed into the gladiator ring. Gladiator ring? No way! I know a clock when I see one. Looks like our days are numbered. Despair, yes, really, but not all that dark. The Roman soldiers were counting the minutes until that attack. It was the time of darkness and despair. From far away, Zero heard his pals call for help. This is a job for Zero the hero, he thought. Faster than a speeding donut, Zero zoomed to the rescue. Look up in the air, it's a flying bagel. Hey, it's my missing chariot wheel. A giant Cheerio, maybe. Release the numbers or else, Zero told the Romans. Or else what, the Romans replied. Or else I will unleash a force greater than you can imagine, the power of nothing. Go ahead, said the Romans. We're not afraid of nothing. Left no choice, Zero grabbed a rock and proceeded to demonstrate his amazing power. Here goes nothing. 0 times rock equals... Ta-da! When the Roman numerals saw the rock disappear, they decided to disappear too. They ran away as fast as they could. He's going to do a number on us. Run for your life. Let's skedaddle. Yeah, before Zero unleashes his power. All hail Zero the hero, shouted the counting numbers. Thank you for saving us. My hero. Zero is great. You're wonderful. For he's a jolly good fellow. High five. 3 cheers. On second thought, that mask is pretty spiffy, and those boots are growing on me. With his friends around him once more and the knowledge that he had fought evil and won, Zero no longer felt empty inside. Now that hollow nothingness inside him filled him with something else. And that something was joy. That is a really cool story. Some really good maths concepts in that as well. All right, James and the Giant Peach. We're going to carry on chapter 19. They found themselves in the water. They were floating along, but they found they had lots of food, so they could start eating some of the peach. And it was such a big peach that I'm sure they were going to be okay and wouldn't sink. So chapter 19. Look, cried the centipede, just as they were finishing their meal. Look at the funny black thing gliding through the water over there. They all swung round to look. There are 2 of them, said Miss Spider. There are lots of them, said Ladybird. What are they? Asked the earthworm, getting worried. There must be some kind of fish, said the old green grasshopper. Perhaps they have come to say hello. The sharks, cried the earthworm. I'll bet you anything you like that they're sharks and they've come to eat us up. What absolute rot, the centipede said with his voice seeming suddenly to have become a little shaky, and he wasn't laughing. I'm positive they're sharks, said the earthworm. I just know that they're sharks. And so, in actual fact, did everybody else. But they were too frightened to admit it. There was a short silence, and they all peered down anxiously at the sharks who were cruising slowly round and round the peach. Just assuming they are sharks, the centipede said. There still can't possibly be any danger if we stay up here. But even as he spoke, one of those thin black fins suddenly changed direction and came cutting swiftly through the water right up to the side of the peach itself. The shark paused and stared up at the company with small, beady eyes. "Go away," they shouted. "Go away, you filthy beast." Slowly, almost lazily, the shark opened his mouth, which was big enough to have swallowed a perambulator, and make a lunge at the peach. Now, perambulator is like a pram. They all watched aghast. And now, as though at a signal from the leader, all the other sharks came swimming in towards the peach, and they clustered around it and began to attack it furiously. There must have been 20 or 30 of them at least, all pushing and fighting and lashing their tails and churning the water into a froth. Panic and pandemonium broke out immediately on top of the peach. "Oh, we're finished now," cried Miss Spider, wringing her feet. "They'll eat up the whole peach and there'll be nothing left for us to stand on, and they'll start on us." "She's right," shouted the ladybird. "We are lost forever." "And I don't want to be eaten," wailed the earthworm. "But they'll take me first because I'm so fat and juicy and have no bones." "Is there nothing we can do?" asked the ladybird, appealing to James. "Surely you can think of a way out of this." Suddenly they were all looking at James. "Think," begged Miss Spider. "Think, James, think." "Come on," said the centipede. "Come on, James, there must be something we can do." Their eyes waited upon him, tense, anxious, pathetically hopeful. Chapter 20. "There is something that I believe we might try," James Henry Trotter said slowly. "I'm not saying it'll work." "Tell us," cried the earthworm. "Tell us quick." "We'll try anything you say," said the centipede. "But hurry, hurry, hurry." "Be quiet and let the boys speak," said the ladybird. "Go on, James." They all moved a little closer to him. There was a longish pause. "Go on," they cried frantically. "Go on." And all the time, while they were waiting, they could hear the sharks threshing around in the water below them. It was enough to make anyone frantic. "Come on, James," the ladybird said, coaxing him. I'm afraid it's no good after all," James murmured, shaking his head. "I'm terribly sorry, I forgot. We don't have any string. We need hundreds of yards of string to make this work." What sort of string?" asked the old green grasshopper sharply. "Any sort, just so long as it's strong." "But my dear boy, that's exactly what we do have. We've got all you want." "How? Where?" "The silkworm," cried the old green grasshopper. "Didn't you ever notice Silkworm? She's still downstairs. She never moves. She just lies there sleeping all day long. But we could easily wake her up and make her spin." "And what about me, may I ask?" said Miss Spider. "I can spin just as well as Silkworm. What's more, I can spin patterns." "Can you make enough between you?" said James. "As much as you want. And quickly." Of course. "And would it be strong?" "The strongest there is. It's thick as your finger." But why? What are you going to do?" "I'm going to lift this peach clear out of the water," James announced firmly. "You're mad," cried the earthworm. "It's our only chance." "The boy's crazy. He's joking." "Come on, James," the ladybird said gently. "How are you going to do it?" Skyhooks, I suppose," jeered the centipede. "Seagulls," James answered calmly. "The place is full of them. Look up there." They all looked up and saw a great mass of seagulls wheeling round and round in the sky. "I'm going to take a long silk string," James went on, "and I'm going to loop one end of it around a seagull's neck, and then I'm going to tie the other end to the stem of the peach." He pointed to the peach stem, which was standing up like a short, thick mast in the middle of the deck. "Then I'm going to get another seagull and do the same thing, and then another and another." "Ridiculous!" they shouted. "Absurd! Poppycock! Balderdash! Madness!" the old green grasshopper said. "How can a few seagulls lift an enormous thing like this up into the air? And all of us as well. It would take hundreds, thousands." "There's no shortage of seagulls," James answered. "Look for yourself. We'll probably need 400, 500, 600, maybe even 1,000. I don't know. I shall simply go on hooking them all up to the stem until we have enough lifted. They'll be bound to lift us in the end. It's like balloons. You summon enough balloons to hold, really enough, then they go up. And a seagull has far more lifting power than a balloon, if only we have the time to do it. If only we have not sunk first by those awful sharks." "You're absolutely off your head," said the earthworm. "How on earth do you propose to get a loop around the seagull's neck? I suppose you're going to fly up in there and catch it?" "The boy's dirty." Let him finish, said the ladybird. Go on, James. How would you do it? With bait. Bait? What sort of bait? Well, the worm, of course. Seagulls love worms. Didn't you know that? And the luckiest of all, we have the biggest, fattest, pinkest, juiciest earthworm in the world. You can stop right there, the earthworm said sharply. That's quite enough. Go on, the other said, beginning to grow interested. Go on. The seagulls have already spotted him, James continued. That's why there are so many of them circling around. But they daren't come down to get him while all the rest of us are standing here. So this is what... Stop! Cried the earthworm. Stop, stop, stop! I won't ever! I refuse! I... Be quiet, said the centipede. Mind your own business. I like that. My dear earthworm, you're going to be eaten anyway, so what's the difference does it make when it's a shark or a seagull? I won't do it. Why don't we hear what the plan is first, said the old green grasshopper. I don't give a hoot what the plan is, said the old green grasshopper. I don't give a hoot what the plan is. I'm not going to be picked to death by a bunch of seagulls. You'll be a martyr, said the centipede. I shall respect you for the rest of my life. So will I, said Miss Spider, and your name will be in the newspaper. Earthworm will gives life to save friends. But he won't have to give his life, James told them. Now listen to me. This is what we're going to do. Chapter 21. Let's find out what the plan is. Well, it's absolutely brilliant, cried the old green grasshopper when James had explained the plan. The boy's a genius, the centipede announced. Now I can keep my boots on after all. I shall be pegged to death, wailed the poor earthworm. Of course you won't. I will, I know I will. I won't even be able to see them coming because I have no eyes. James went over and put an arm gently around the earthworm's shoulders. I won't let them touch you, he said. I promise I won't, but we've got to hurry. Look down there. There were more sharks than ever now around the beach. The water was boiling with them. There must have been 90 or 100 at least, and to the travellers up on top, it certainly seemed as though the beach was sinking slower and lower into the water. Action stations, James shouted. Jump to it. There's not a moment to lose. He was the captain now, and everybody knew it. They would do whatever he told them. All hands on deck, except Earthworm, he ordered. Yes, yes, they all said eagerly as they scuttled into the tunnel entrance. Come on, let's hurry. And you, Centipede, James said, hop downstairs and get that silkworm to work at once. Tell her to spin as she's never spun before. Our lives depend on it. And the same applies to you, Miss Spider. Hurry on down. Start spinning. We're going to stop there. Chapter 22, we'll find out more about what that plan is. So we'll do that on Monday. Now, we're not too sure if what's happening with any alert level changes, but hopefully we'll be able to continue story time on Monday and continue reading James and the Giant Peach. So, hey, have a great weekend, everybody. I hope that you are looking after your families and being kind. I've seen some amazing recipes and things being cooked by some of our tamariki, and that's absolutely amazing. So, hey, thanks for joining us with story time for this week. Have a good weekend, and we'll catch up with you on Monday. Ka kite anō.